vendor people. And these drums were basically given to me so that I can play them at the tribute to the ancestors of the Middle Passage, which is held every second Saturday in June in collaboration with Mentor Evers College and the People of the Sun Collective, of which I have been a member for the past 27 years. Last year was our 30th year. This year we're going to be celebrating 31 years of paying respect to those ancestors who died during the Middle Passage, as well as acknowledging those who survived. We are the survivors. And so these drums are being played in a place called Congo's, we call it Congo Square in New York City. It's reminiscent of Congo Square in New Orleans, where our ancestors were allowed to come out and play their instruments. So, and this particular performance was done some years ago to celebrate the first International Day of the Drums, which was created by myself and Ian Douglas from Barbados with a few others. So that is basically what you're about to listen to, and that is what the main drum that I'm playing, it is called the Trinity and Goma. When that drum was made for me, the Sangoma told me it was the only one that he ever made, and I don't think anybody else since then has made a drum like that. It's three sides. On the right side represents the base, which is the mother, the foundation. On the left side represents the rhythm, which is the child. And at the top represents the father, which is the lead part of the drums. So I just wanted to let folks know what the drums represents in this particular setting and what was going on.
All right, thank you, Baba. Thanks very much. I'm going to now share that screen. It's actually a Facebook post, which we couldn't download for whatever reason, but I'm going to share that and cross fingers and give trust that all will go well. And so, Baba, yours is the only mic currently that should be unmuted for when you come back in, and then we will begin the other parts of the program.
Okay.
Okay, Baba, we're back to you now. Thank you very much for that.
Yes.
I have to just stop the Facebook one though, so just bear with me a minute. Okay, Baba. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I don't think you could hear everyone's clap.
You're welcome.
But yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. All right, welcome everyone again. There are a few people waiting in the waiting room, but we've kind of reached capacity now. So we are going to begin the program. And just to say, I'm trusting that all of the contributors and speakers, as much as can be on. Yeah, so I'm going to just share the screen so that we're on board and know what to do. Baba, I'm going to just put you on mute a minute. Okay?
Yes.
So, greetings and welcome everyone. So, my name is Michelle Asantewa, and I will be co-hosting this momentous event this evening. I'm just trying to make sure that this tech works properly. So this would have been Baba had he not appeared, but thankfully he was able to. But these are the details of what some of what you might hear, or kind of, that's the drums that he was on. So he was actually here, and this is also, you don't want to hear this. This was equally contingencies.
This wait, okay. You
now, Baba, could you please put yourself on mute? Okay, great. So this is just to say just what I've just explained. If you could please keep your mics muted. And if you're a contributor, please unmute your mic when it's your turn to speak or perform, and you should have the program. If you wish to speak or say anything, I've noticed some of you doing some chats, please use the chat function, which is at the bottom of the screen. And sometimes you'll see it pops up in orange. That's just because like it is at the moment. That is somebody trying to get a message through. And so, yeah, please use that. Brother Dalian, can you hear me? If you can, please unmute yourself. Brother Dalian?
Greetings, sis. Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so could you monitor for the chats as well? So sometimes people put things in the chat, and
absolutely.
Yeah, so we'll monitor that together.
No problem. Will do. Yes.
Okay, great.
I'll keep an eye on that.
Okay. Not sure why it's not showing. Okay, it did a sort of a skip. This is the program that is for today. It's just annoying me, this kind of. So yeah, this is the program, and you should have all seen that on your Eventbrite page, and I'm hoping that you have that to access anyway, because this won't be up all the time, because as speakers come on, we won't have time to go back and forth through this necessarily. So it's a full program, and it's just to say that myself and Brother Dalian, Queen Mother Dòwòti, whose pictures I'm going to try and get up shortly. It's just a little bit of a delay sometimes. Yeah. Are you moving? Ha. So, yeah. Just slight delaying. Queen Mother Dòwòti, Mambo Dòwòti Désir, Brother Dalian and myself got together following the announcement of the passing of Sanusi Credo Mutwa. And we felt it necessary to put on something like this, because just to acknowledge the fact that acknowledge the brilliance of somebody within the tradition of African spirituality and African culture generally, who has done wonderful work for the tradition. And we felt we couldn't let that occasion of his passing just simply be unacknowledged, and we wanted to bring this event to a global reach for marking that occasion, because we know that now is a particularly interesting time for him to have chosen to leave, but actually he is risen in this particular time, risen for us. And so we thought it necessary for us to bring this event to you. And that we is Queen Mother Mambo Dòwòti, Désir. Bear with me because I'm having to manage several things at the same time, like the 20 people that are trying to get in on the waiting room. And this is myself and Brother Dalian, all right? So that's as far as that part of it goes. Now, what's going to happen on the program is that we are going to have a libation, which the Queen Mother is going to do. And that's how we're going to start off. And we want to thank you all for taking the time out to come to this event. But as you can see, there is a full lineup of activities, and I look forward to you all participating as fully as you can from your respective places. And we trust that this will be a very memorable event and will be welcome in the ancestral realm, especially by our beloved Baba, who's passed on. All right. So that's me now. And Queen Mother, I welcome you.
Thank you
for the libation, and I hope that introduction was to your satisfaction. And
thank you.
You have a lot of people waiting to come on, but they can't come on.
Yes.
All right.
And I'm going to ask everyone to momentarily unmute themselves. So greetings. My name is Her Majesty Queen Mother Dòwòti Désir Houna Lewe. I am a Mambo Asogwe, a high priest in Haitian Voodoo, and the Pojito of the Royal Palace of Dada Dagbo Houna in Ouida, Benin. In our traditions, we welcome others with the exchange of words, honor, and respect. So when I say honor, please respond with respect. Honor.
With respect.
Honor.
Respect.
Honor.
Respect.
Ayibobo. Okay. Mute now. We're unable to be physically together, yet we need to create a sense of community. So in the Eventbrite page, we suggested that those of you who wish to participate in the two rituals that we're having at the beginning and the end of this memorial to have completed certain tasks and to assemble a few things. We hope that you have the opportunity to smudge your room with sage or incense before the welcoming address. If you didn't already have, or if you don't already have the following elements with you, then please take 2 minutes to gather the following items. A glass or cup of water, a bowl, and one of the 3 following items, basil leaf, Florida water, or flower petals that you will place inside the bowl. And then a paper towel or washcloth.
Queen Mother, I'm sorry to interrupt. Michelle, can you mute the participants, please, from your end?
Thank you very much. I was waiting. Thank you for doing that. Because I can't do it without muting Queen Mother as well. So I'm going to mute everybody, and then I'm going to unmute you, Queen Mother, all right?
Okay. Thank you. We also recommended that you have something South African in the room to channel or connect with Sanusi Mutwa. Okay. I'm assuming everybody is back. Now I have specific instructions for you because we're doing this together. So please stand up with a glass of water. To begin the opening prayers, we ask that you turn to the north and lift the water, the glass, up towards the heavens to give thanks to the spirit of air. Now turn in the opposite direction to the south and salute the spirits of earth. Turn to the east and lift your glass to embrace the gift of fire. And finally, show your gratitude for the spirits of water as we face the west. Please remain standing and face the monitor. And at the end of the prayer, please pour water 3 times into the bowl. Ano papa legba, met kafu met grand chimen. Legba kai, legba katan ulo. Legba. Legba voto. Bagay apun nou, mta regle zafen nou. Pot la, te genou tout jepi aki la, ki aponere e respete mémoire, pwen nou, papa nou. Baba, maman, Zulu, Credo Mutwa. Maman famille, bokote maman, bokote papa, aibobo loyo. Thank you. I've completed the libations. Again, pour your water in the bowl 3 times. Hello?
Hello?
I don't see anyone.
They're here though.
Okay, well, I've completed the libations. And I don't see anyone. So again, please, you may sit down and then we can move on to the next part of the program. And I will see you again shortly.
Thank you, Queen Mother. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So the next part of the program, Brother Dalian, if you got it handy so that I don't have to go back to the share screen, the next part. Or was that supposed to be me? Where's Brother Dalian gone?
I thought we had Sister.
I don't want to have to go back to the screen, but it looks like I'm going to have to.
I think it's our Sister Tossie Long who's supposed to perform.
Yeah.
Song, we're supposed to have a song.
Oh.
Thank you,
Yes.
Baba.
Sorry, I was muted. Yes, Tossie Long.
Okay.
She's in the waiting room.
She's in the waiting room?
I think so.
I thought I let her in. Like, I did let her in. Did she come back out? She shouldn't have been in the waiting room at all.
I'll try to text her.
No, she should be. Yeah, she should be there.
Okay. Well, if we don't hear in another minute, I suggest we move on to the next portion and we'll have her afterward.
I was just scrolling through to see if I could see her.
She says that she's in the waiting room.
Oh, I don't know how she got into the waiting room again. Well, I can see her on here as though she's in. I can see her. She's part of it. She's on the one of the participants. So I'm not sure how she's in the waiting room and one of the participants as well. So that
I've just asked her to unmute herself.
we can move to the next and then come back to what's happening there. Because I can't figure it out. She can unmute herself. Brother Dalian, you can unmute yourself. Who is the next?
So she just says, please wait. Her message says, please wait. The meeting host room will let you in. So,
okay. If not,
I can see her. I can see her there, and there's nothing. All I can do otherwise, it's saying different things that I can do with her. But she shouldn't be in the waiting room unless she's logged on twice. One via her phone, another by her laptop. That's the only way. Oh, and one she's in, and one she's not.
Sister, yeah, should we move on to Sister Yeye Tish, and then while we wait for Sister Tossie Long to come on?
Yes, please.
I think it would be better.
Alafia.
Alafia.
Okay, so everyone can hear me. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Luisa Tish. I'm the author of Jambalaya, the Natural Woman's Book of Personal Charms and Practical Rituals. My chieftaincy title is Yeye Woro Temilade, hailing from Ile-Ife, Nigeria. And as Iyanifa, I am Fajimbola Fatumishe. I am pleased to be with you all honoring Baba Mutwa today. And I think that the best offering that I can have or give is to read to you the introduction that I wrote to Baba's book, Song of the Stars. Please accept this as my most articulate ability. As I have great sorrow that I was not able to make it to South Africa to sit with him before he joined the ancestors. I'm an incredibly fortunate person to have lived long enough and well enough to see a great desire of mine fulfilled. Years ago, I was very thirsty for some spiritual knowledge of traditional Africa. I went to the library and had to sit in a locked room to read Credo Mutwa's Indaba, My Children. The book was originally published only in South Africa and was very rare. The more I read, the more I longed to learn about South Africa and its folklore, and specifically about this amazing man, Mutwa. So here I am, 20-odd years later, writing the preface for his first publication in America. It is a miniature of the fulfillment of the wish so many of us felt for so long for the liberation of South Africa. For me as a Black person, the whole issue of South Africa was something that one prayed about and worked for, feeling helpless, but trying to contribute something. But I was afraid that I might die without ever seeing any progress of peace here, without ever being able to go there safely. And I wondered, would I live a long life and die without any knowledge about South Africa that was not polluted by some anthropologist's opinion? But the publication of this book is an event for me beyond the political. It represents a spiritual liberation and a kind of homecoming. It is the manifestation of the miraculous in my life. Here is authentic material from an elder, a wise man, a medicine man of the Zulu culture. It is a very great gift that bespeaks a great time of change and transformation. Now, we who seek spiritually for our roots can turn our faces and learn from South Africa. Now the medicine, the history, the folklore, the great contributions of that part of the world can be given freely, no longer having to be snatched and twisted from its people, but given freely. There is a wisdom rising to the surface. And for me, this rising begins with Mandela and Mutwa. Now I, like so many of us, are able to see the words, read the words of our Southern Credo elders. We will be able to compare stories, to process the concepts and the ideas, and to get a sense of the whole picture. This is a move toward our wholeness, our being able to talk to this man and being able to read these stories. It makes me whole just to be able to hold this book in my hands, to know that I have something that is grounded in a particular person who functions in his community, who has a genuine spiritual base behind him, not the pickings and choosing of someone who pulled together an anthology without interpretations of his story. There's a medicine for the soul in here. Credo Mutwa talks about the many amazing things in a voice that seems so very, very commonplace about our relationships to each other, to the natural world, and to what some people call the supernatural, and to beings from other places among the stars, without fear and without pretense. One feels his wonderful humanity and the genius of his people in these stories. As I look at the folklore, because this is my love, there's so much in Mutwa's lore that is related to what I know of West African folklore and much of what I know of Caribbean and African American folklore. The kinship is very, very clear. Here we have the tree of life and the great mother. Here we have ugliness and beauty, gods and goddesses. The wonders and terrors of their lives light up our sky with color and constitute one of the great blessings of the African view on life. Here we have flood and rain and great desert, cold and scorching sun. Here we have tricksters, Kintu, very much resembling a Legba and a Nasi in Ijapa and all the other tricksters one finds in African folklore. Some of the names, Odu or Nomo, are the same, with similar or slightly different meanings, depending on where they are found in Africa. This speaks strongly in favor of the Southern cradle theory of civilization, that the civilizations of Africa did not drift down from the north, but evolved from the south and spread out across the world. This is confirmation of that. The person who holds this book in her or his hand may find the names of deities they've never heard before, especially additions to the great goddesses that can help us fill our picture of the feminine face of God and reveal how people view the dialogue of the feminine principle and the masculine dynamic in nature. Here we have the ripe great mother and the lustful tree of life. Here we have the principle of raw evil worming its way into the world at the very beginning. I like the idea of filling out and complementing Mandela's political journey with Mutwa's mythology. Putting the two together gives us a more whole, complete picture of South Africa, the secular political and the magical mythological. I have sat with storytellers in Australia and heard the stories of the Orishas told with different names. Same ideas, same feeling, very similar results. Again, I hear the stories of the great ancestors, of powerful deities, of natural forces at play. Only the names are different. This similarity is a real testimony to that which is common in human experience, and it really should help to ensure our humanity in each other's presence. I am awestruck by the miracle of the existence of this book. I hope that it will land in the hands of many Black Americans, but also Native Africans and Asians and Europeans as well. I want to see men and women pick this book up and read the tales, investigate the culture and draw the parallels. Then more understanding might begin to flow. I'm grateful to destiny that Father Mutwa has lived long enough to give me this gift and that I have lived long enough to receive it. Because as he says, when we dream, we have to get out of bed and walk toward the dream. Being able to have this book in my hand is a dream come true of a teenage girl locked in a room in a library, searching for her roots. It's incredible. You know, for all the talking I do to people in lectures about the creative spirit manifest, I'm still stunned when it really does. I asked for Father Mutwa's permission to tell his stories, and he says, thank you. Traditionally, I'm supposed to beg and be put through changes for permission to do that, you see? But he said it gladdened his heart to know that I would tell his stories. And I will do it as far as my wings can take me. I'm looking forward to telling these stories everywhere. Thank you for this time and for your attention.
Thank you.
Modupwe lopo lopo.
I believe I'm next. Can we just check to see if Sister Tossie has been able to get on, please?
She can only do so if she comes into the waiting room and then I can see her. But at the moment, I can't see that she's in the waiting room because she's in the she's supposed to be in the meeting itself. She should. I can't see her because I can see who is in that waiting room and her name is not there, but I can see that she's in the meeting. So it's a bit, I'm not sure how that can be resolved. Tracy, if you can hear me, do you know how that situation could be resolved?
Which person are you trying to activate?
Tossie Long, she's, as far as from my end, what I can see is I can see that she was.
Okay. You know what? If you make me a co-host, just hover over my name, click more, and then make me a co-host, then I can work it out for you.
On this one, it's either you host or I host. It doesn't give you the option to co-host.
Interesting. Oh, you didn't make that an option. Okay.
Yeah, because there was and also because, yeah, I didn't do that at the beginning because I wouldn't have known who necessarily to do that. So
okay. Well, I'll send you a chat about it. Go ahead and continue with the program, and I'll chat with you privately about it.
Okay.
Queen Mother, can you give us just a couple minutes?
Certainly.
Thank you. So, Queen Mother, you would effectively be the next speaker. Yes. If the program was running anyway. So I think you should go ahead, to be fair, and do that. And Tracy and I will attempt to do what we need to do at the back. All right?
Okay. Thank you. Indaba. On behalf of my co-organizers and hosts, Sister Michelle Asantewa and Brother Dalian Adofo, our children, our families, friends, and guests, we seek the permission of our elders to speak as we gather in celebration of the legacy of Sanusi, Zulu Credo Mutwa. So Yeye Tish, Chaplain Red Hawk, Baba Mendes, Baba Wordz, Iavira, Dr. Davis, Reverend Désir, do I have your permission? Just nod. Thank you. As part of the Ukushiya, Umhlaba, I began a prayer, and our sister Tossie Long was to have sung a song to the Lwa, or spiritual forces of West African, Caribbean, and South American African-based cosmologies of Voodoo, Lukumi, and Candomblé, known as Legba, the great dweller on the doors. Sister Tossie was also to have paid homage to the Gedes, the ancestral forces associated with our passage into the netherworld. In many ways, these two divine energies are one and the same. They are the Alpha and the Omega of the doors of life and death. Both are known for their tremendous transformational powers. They're both the stewards of portals whose entrance and egress lead to unventured paths. Both are the miners of crossroads. They are gatekeepers to spaces of unknown reckoning. Legba, the messenger to the divine, is a known trickster, whose mysteries may lead one to either joy or misery. The Gede too are known for their sense of humor. They're known for their irreverence and their fearlessness. It is they who gather patiently, waiting for us as they capture our last breath on this plane. Their laughter and dances are entwined with the bitter fruits of awe, disdain, hope and fear, forgiveness and wonder. The high Sanusi Baba Usamazulu Credo Mutwa knew these divine guardians well, for he opened up so many doors for us. And with the generosity and transparency that marked his temperament, he would share what insights these spirits provided. When his first light found its way into the world on the 21st of July, 1921, the child of the song, the one who awakens heaven, Basamazulu Credo Mutwa, born in KwaZulu-Natal province, South Africa, entered into a challenging life shaped by illness, betrayal, misunderstanding, tears, disappointment, fatigue, satisfaction, recognition, and love. It was all this and more that shaped the nature of the Sangoma, or traditional healer he would prove to be. As a teenager who, when stricken with illness, began to see things, experience and know things others could not, it was determined that he would be a servant of the ethers. After a long period of apprenticeship, Sanusi Mutwa would emerge into a prophet. He would be a grand teacher as a master storyteller, an herbalist, and mediator of the ancestral and natural worlds. Usamazulu Mutwa was a healer who, through the good medicine he made and his prophecies, worked exhaustively to not only repair personal wounds and remove dis-ease, but to facilitate reconciliation among people and nations. He was a diplomat. Most importantly, wherever and whenever possible, he labored to warn against coming catastrophic events, such as the tragedy of the World Trade Center, the devastation of the HIV/AIDS pandemic, and more. And yet these admonishments would bring woe his way. A most imaginative sculptor, the whirlwind of life would help craft Baba's work, not only as a visual artist who was duly talented as a plasticien. Baba was a painter of two-dimensional images, but he also painted words in our imaginations with his tremendous storytelling abilities. Both the stories he shared instructed us in African cosmology, Zulu tradition, Pan-African thought, and the sacred arts. But his very life story also told and taught profound morals, which include a trail of hardship, of compassion and forgiveness. A humble man, Baba Mutwa brought a weight, pride, and militancy to traditional African spirituality. And he did that without pretension, greed, glamour, or the feigned mystery other spiritual leaders often display. He taught many of us here that we too are the children of the song, that we are healers. And you'll meet some of these people online today. Among the many things that we shall always thank and remember him for can be found in a short passage from his first book. It is the very fact that we even know what a Zulu shaman is and isn't, that matters. That knowledge alone makes our worlds more complete and our relationships with one another richer. In his book, Zulu Shaman, Dreams, Prophecies, and Mysteries, he spoke of the Sangoma's most creative and psychic powers and addresses us by clarifying the meaning of the term witch doctor. He said, first of all, let's get one thing very clear. It's not a witch doctor who casts spells. It is a sorcerer. If you remember, in Europe, there were magicians of the white kind and magicians of the black, the dark forces. The magicians of the white were people like Merlin and other good wizards and witches, but the black magicians used their powers and their talents to destroy people. And if it was so in Europe, it is still so here in Africa. A witch doctor will never cast a spell on anybody. He can neutralize a spell. He can stop it. But the moment a witch doctor turns to harm a person, he's no longer a witch doctor. He becomes a sorcerer. Mutwa concludes that Such a person is one who is a doer of evil deeds. And as he continues to dissolve misunderstanding in thinking and behaviors, it is he who also wrote, "The so-called witch doctors of Africa are scientists and psychologists and parapsychologists and artists. Sangomas are also clairvoyant, as we have seen, diviners and diagnoses of illness. They play the same role that psychiatrists and priests and priestesses of various religions fulfill in Western and Eastern societies. They are the spiritual leaders of our people in ancient times, and in many ways, we still are. We were the people who made it possible for the Christian missionaries to operate freely in Africa, because we told our people to accept these foreign men with strange ideas. It was at our sanction and with our permission that they came. But ironically enough, the very same missionaries we welcomed in Africa turned around and started destroying us." End of quote. Well, I have to say that since I read those words, I believe more than a few of us who are present today have proudly worn our badges as witch doctors. Now, more importantly, the High Sanusi taught us that our skills that we possess as healers, and we as African descendants must truly comprehend the 3 C's of the philosophy of the Ubuntu Betu, which underscores and affirms the centrality of the African person, the supreme connectivity of the African person, and divine consciousness of the African person. So when we say, "I am because you are," our tone emphasizes equality. We understand that under the gaze of the Almighty, we as humans can look upon one another knowing happily we're all born equal. That I am because you are. And we gaze upwards towards the celestial with the knowledge that we are the subjects of the divine, and we are here because and at the pleasure of that same supreme will. And finally, I am because you are speaks from the vantage of the imperial. From the Most High exists outside us. We know the Most High exists outside of us. However, it is only we, as human beings, who can identify the movements of God's grace. Thus, Bonjour, the Great Mother, the good God, has the most resonance when we, as his children, recognize the glory of omnipotent existence, for we are enjoined to it. It is us, and we embody its bounty. In all instances, the message of the Ubuntu Betu, as Baba taught it, is informed by the gifts of humility, the concept and the appreciation of community. Now, the lack of humility can make us forget that we all are stars in the cosmos. Like tricksters and magicians, the hills and valleys of the narratives that he imparted on us reveal that good and evil coexist in a world in a manner that is intended to bring out what is the cleverest, the most thoughtful, and the most nuanced expression in all of us. This is particularly important for those of us who aim to do good. That is another tough lesson. Sometimes we heard some bitter words from our Baba, not because he was a bitter man, but because he wished us to know how cruel the world could be, so that we might neither suffer its meannesses nor exercise such exacting injustice upon one another. Misunderstood, his character was besmirched, one of his sons killed, his home was destroyed, his national cultural stature largely ignored by the state. He was prevented from realizing the profits of the sale of his books. Yet he remained stalwart, like that first small living fire that wailed, I am, in the darkness between time and nothing. Baba's light blazed and he seared himself upon our souls, which is why all of you have joined us today. And we are most grateful. We're fortunate to have members of Baba's family with us, notably the documentarian, the filmmaker, Sister Nozipho Mutwa. And in the film that she made of her father, there was a message that Baba gave his daughter that could be extended to all of us, and a message that could be presented to our respective families. Baba said, Don't get angry over shadows. And in this case, he said, I don't want the Mutwa name remembered in anger. And who among us who does the work of the ancestors, the heavy lifters of traditional healing, who cannot say the same thing to our children? We, who are not infrequently the receptacles of scorn, doubt, and misgivings in societies pushing religion over spiritualities, individual desire over the collective good, money over health and prosperity, corporate profits over the environment. If Baba found a way to move past the pettiness and short-sightedness encountered in his life, if he endured the physical and psychosocial attacks, becoming bigger than life, and was rewarded with longevity, then why not we? On the 25th of March, 2020, a gentle roar came from the heavens as it opened its mouth to welcome a man who was a son, a brother, husband, father to some, and a grandfather of grandfathers to all of humanity. The artist, healer, master teacher, Baba Zulu Credo Mutwa, took his peace lamp into the eternal night, reminding us, Amagugu, Alemi Wizwe, Awosalema Tuneli. All precious treasures remain in the grave. And yet he left so much for us to hold on to. I'm going to close my remarks with an audio of Baba's voice that is so moving and so filled with grace and wisdom and resignation, I had to share it with you.
My friends, my story must here end, that others may continue it the God's will. The light, in the name of the dweller on the doorway, in the name of the commander of the seas and the skies, in the name of the empress of the stars, in the name of the one, the living, the mother, let me give my blessings to all of you. May the light accompany you as you walk across the plains of this world. May the truth be the star that shines not only above your heads, but deep within the kernels of your souls. May peace, the most fragrant of flowers, attend you no matter where you go. May food never be lacking in your village. May water never be lacking in your streams and rivers. May love never be lacking in your hearts and in the hearts of your children. May your days always be fruitful and friendly. May love always be with you to the ending of your days. May war be away from the borders of your countries. May anger be away from the mountains of your lives. As this thundering millennium draws to its close, may you be protected, shielded, cherished until you see the beginning of the new.
At this point, Baba sings a song which we will have the pleasure of hearing later. Baba's farewell at the end of his message was, and when the end of the time of the fading universe recalls back its fugitive galaxy and runaway stars, when the planets are once more recalled to become one with the great mass from which a new universe will be born, that the lamp of peace be the one thing remaining in that eternal dark until the voice of God is heard again and creation is reborn. Makus, Makus, peace be with you, and health and enlightenment and plenty and happiness and justice. Makus. Let us continue to share the stories of the High Sanusi, the most celebrated Sangoma, Baba Busama Zulu Credo Mutwa, who provided us with a most important mission, the mission to listen, to learn from those ancient ones who came before us, and to look within ourselves so that we might see the beauty of living in a just world. Let us continue our gathering of love, as we have already heard from our elder and sister, Yeye Luisa Tish, and now we will hear from our sister, elder, Dr. Fania Davis. Ayibobo. Thank you.
Makosi.
Thank you so much, Queen Mother Dòwòti. We appreciate the thoughtful and insightful words that you've shared with us. Next up on the program, we have the sister Naima Shalu from the USA, who's going to refresh our spirits with a guitar solo. So over to the sister Naima. If you're online now, please, it's your turn to go next.
Thank you so much, and Togoza, and thank you.
I believe you're on mute. If you can kindly unmute yourself, please. Thank you.
Okay, can you hear me now? Okay, thank you so much. And thank you so much for your words, Her Majesty Queen Mother Manbo Dòwòti Désir. Thank you so much.
Sorry, Sister Naima, are you unmuted?
I'm unmuted.
Because I can't hear you.
Yes, we can hear her.
Okay, you all can hear me? Okay.
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
And before I proceed, I just want to ask the blessing and permission from all the elders and healers on this call. I just want a special thank you to Yeye Tish, who asked me to sing a song that we learned in South Africa, and a great thank you to Sister and Reverend Fania Davis for even introducing us at Restorative Justice for Oakland Youth to your community of Sangomas and healers in South Africa. And I had the great honor of going with our staff at Arjoy and spent a week with Gonondo Shilambele Kama in her home with Sangomas and just learning songs and rituals. And I was asked to sing one of the songs that we learned. So with your permission, I will proceed. Wobia manono, wobia lekaya, wobia manono, wobia lekaya, wobia manono, wobia manono, wobia lekaya, wobia manono, wobia lekaya, wobia manono, wobia lekaya, wobia manono, wobia manono, wobia lekaya, wobia mekaya, wobia manono, wobia lekaya, wobia manono, wobia lekaya, wobia manono, wobia lekaya. Wobia manono, wobia lekaya, wobia manono, wobia lekaya, wobia manono, wobia lekaya, wobia manono, wobia manono. Thank you so much.
That's beautiful. Thank you for that, Sister Naima. We really appreciate that. Next up, we have, obviously, I'll let her introduce herself, but we have Sister Fania Davis, who's also going to give us some remarks. And so we would welcome Sister Fania Davis, please. introduce yourself and take it forward. Sorry, Sister Fania, you're on mute. Could you unmute yourself, please? I know, technology. Thank you all for bearing with us. Please, go ahead.
Thank you. With great honor, love, and respect, I greet all of you. Thank you for those beautiful and insightful remarks. It's just, your words were truly moving and amazing to me. Thank you. Praises to the Creator, Nkulunkulu. Praises to the Mother of the Earth, Nom Kubulwane. Praises to the Queen of the Sea, Nomaza. Praises to the holy names of the foremothers and the forefathers of Baba Credo Mutwa's ancestral lineage who bless and empower this celebration. I greet all of you and all your ancestors who bless and empower this celebration. We, your children, are grateful for the blessings of life, for the blessings of health, for the blessing of this beautiful celebration, even in the midst of the great suffering and ill health that surround us. We give thanks for your presence. We give thanks for your protection. My heart is so happy that Queen Mother Dòwòti Désir and Brother Dalian Adofo and Sister Dr. Michelle Asantewa have organized this celebration of Baba's life. Celebration of the life of this high Sanusi, chief traditional healer, great awakener of the Zulus, this great awakener of the children of all of Africa and of so many throughout the world. I am honored and humbled to share words of remembrance and praise for a great being, for High Sanusi, African elder statesman, prophet, lore master, creator of ancient African villages, servant of the great mother, blacksmith, sculptor, painter, writer, educator, bearer of star knowledge. Yes, you were all this and more, beloved Vusa Mazulu Credo Mutwa. My name is Fania Davis. I have been given 2 Zulu names. Baba named me Nandi, meaning sweet healing aloe. The other name is Noma Zulu, Queen of the Sky, given to me by High Priestess Sheila Mbelekama, who you will hear later on today. Baba is my spiritual father. I am his Twaza. It is said that when the student is ready, the master will appear. I've had a lived experience of this truth. In 1997, I was feeling a deep spiritual restlessness. Unusual things were happening. For example, an encounter with a street prophetess who, pointing to the northeastern sky, commanded me to learn from the sky beings there. I was ill with a condition that kept recurring. For months on end, I had ceaseless visions and dreams of water, standing in water, submerged in water, bathed in water, walking in water, being born or reborn in water. I later decoded the street prophetess's message. She was pointing to the Ursa Major constellation. Ursa Major is the arc of ancestral knowledge. So she was commanding me to learn from my ancestors. I learned later too that my illness was an initiatory illness, one that is actually an ancestral call to become a healer or serve spirits. And you won't get better until you answer that call. And I learned that the water was also beckoning me to African initiation. Water is associated with purification, cleansing, new life, renewal, and rebirth. And of course, with initiation. As if on cue, a brother from the Congo, Kikosa Kajangu, came into my life and led me to Baba. After the long transcontinental journey, 2 young women in their 20s and I having just turned 50, arrived at Port Elizabeth on the eastern Cape of South Africa. As we turned off the highway and onto the dirt road and inside the gate, we were greeted by a colossal sculpture of Nomkubulwane, the Zulu Great Mother, the imperfect undying one. This was Baba's creation, his offering to the Great Mother, the great three-breasted, 12-fingered immortal who through her imperfections expresses her closeness with and compassion for human mortals. We pass Kwakaya Indaba, translated from the Zulu, is home of the story.
Oh.
This was a miniature traditional African village that Baba himself had created, with community healing huts, huts to observe the stars, ancestral shrine huts, and sculptures of the ancient gods and goddesses. As we approached the farmhouse, several women in traditional garb with painted faces met us, some undergoing initiation, some already initiated. We'd barely gotten into our rooms and put our bags down when a Sangoma called us to Baba's room. The night I first met him, Baba, short in stature, but a mountain of a man, was dressed in denims and a black leather blacksmith apron, which he used when forging metals. Baba was kneeling on the floor when we walked in. I was struck by his humility. Baba welcomed us with jokes and laughter, asked about our purpose in coming to him, and then started spinning stories. Baba was an exquisite lore master. Like children, every evening while we were there, we could barely wait for the moment to arrive when Baba would gather us to hear stories of creation, love, of the stars, of creatures from other worlds, of the days when women ruled, of great women Zulu warriors, and of King Shaka, Baba's ancestor. We traveled through time, through worlds, and through galaxies on the wings of Baba's stories. After 2 short weeks, it was already time to leave. And I could only think of returning to be with Baba again. At home, about 6 months later, I managed to get rid of my furniture, pack up my house, rent it out, and return to Africa. This time I went to Bophuthatswana, where Baba was living with his first wife and Notsipo's mother, Mama Cecilia. Baba offered to divine with the bones for me. And when he did so, the bowl of initiation landed upward. With some excitement, he said, "This meant Nandi. This means that the great mothers are calling you for initiation." Without hesitating, I answered the call. The waters, the dream and visions of water had prepared me. The street prophetess had prepared me. My illness had prepared me. I am infinitely grateful to have been given the blessing of being initiated by Baba, of being in his presence, of learning from him, of hearing him sing and pray, of witnessing him call the dolphins, read the clouds, heal through vibration, create beautiful sculptures of the deities from metal and stone, of accompanying him on pilgrimages to the Mother Caves, to the Father Mountains, and to the sacred waters. I miss Baba so much. It is so soothing and comforting to hear his voice. It is so soothing and comforting to be together with all of you, with those who loved him. He taught me so much, and here's some of the most important lessons for me. I have never encountered such a passionate devotee of the Divine Mother as Baba was. Whether Nomkubulwane, Nomaza, Mamiwata, Yemoja, Oshun, Isis, Kumalamba, Pachamama, he taught me about the Great Mother, how to experience her, how to serve her, how to love her. He told me, we serve the Mother by our deeds. The way to worship her, Baba said, is not just through ritual and prayer, but most importantly through our deeds. He said, that's why I devote sculptures to her. These sculptures, these paintings, these stories are my offerings. Second, Baba instilled in me a love of African healing wisdom. Baba loved ancient African wisdom. He told me that as a young man, he traveled throughout the African continent and was initiated into almost 50 African healing traditions. His writings, his sculptures, his paintings and orations all honored and elevated African traditional knowledges. Living into the meaning of his name, Vusamazulu, given to him by his ancestor, King Shaka, during a vision when he was being initiated. That means, Vusamazulu means the great awakener. Living into the meaning of this name, he devoted his life to awakening others. He was happiest when he was sharing knowledge with others. People came from all over the world, from all walks of life, to sit at his feet. He said to me once, I feel like a full calabash. I want to share what knowledge I have only on one condition, that those I share it with do not abuse it, but use it for the benefit of humankind. It is said that when an elder passes, a library is burned to the ground. Yes, that is true, but only partly true here. With Baba's passing, not only a library, but also a university, an academy, a museum, a seminary, have all been lost. Finally, Baba taught love. He said to me, the end of my time with him, back in 1999, he said, Nandi, you must always project happiness and most importantly, love. This will heal many. As my grandmother used to say, a sangoma without feeling is like a rotten pumpkin in a mealie field. Only worms will enjoy eating it. Sangomas must always be filled with love and compassion. More than speaking these words, he lived them. Baba suffered so much, as was said early, by Queen Mother, in his tumultuous life. He was abandoned as a child by his fundamentalist Christian father, sexually assaulted as a young man, persecuted by misguided anti-apartheid activists who killed his son and burned his Soweto home to the ground in the 1970s. And for most of his days, exploitative white people stole from him his writings, his films, his paintings, his sculptures, even a large farm. Whenever I was in Baba's presence, though one felt sadness, just beneath the surface, one found a great fount of love, compassion, kindness, and humor. Hambagatle Baba, you touched many. You awakened many. May you continue to touch and awaken us from your place in the village of the ancestors. Your love of the stars, of creation, of humanity, and of African healing wisdom will forever nurture and inspire us. Baba, may you find the peace that eluded you in this world. Baba, may your spirit soar in freedom. Rest in peace, Baba. Rest in power. Makosi.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Sister Fania, for that heartfelt personal experience that you've shared with us. And rightfully so, Baba has touched many, many lives, including myself. You know, my name is Dalian Adofo. For everyone, welcome. My name is Dalian Adofo, and I'm the co-director of an educational documentary series called Ancestral Voices, which I set up myself with my wife, Verona, who's on the other screen. In 2013, we were honored to have the opportunity. It took a while to get to Baba, to be honest, to be able to get an audience with Baba, to be able to interview him for our documentary, Ancestral Voices, what the series of documentaries are known as. But through a sister based in South Africa by the name of Mbali Credo, we managed to secure an audience with Baba. And so we traveled to South Africa to film the second part of our documentary. And it was a very insightful experience, the whole journey, you know, getting to Johannesburg and then realizing that we had to travel so many hours to get to the place Baba was currently residing, which was in Kuruman. So, you know, we went on this long journey just admiring the beautiful landscape that is South Africa. You know, one of the impressions I left was if there indeed this concept of God is as we conceptualize it, the first place that God would have arrived on earth was South Africa. If you look at the landscape, it just looks sacred, you know, and our experience and time with him was no less. You know, he shared a lot with us, considering he didn't know any of us. Him and Mama Virginia welcomed us into their compound. You know, they made us feel very welcome, and he freely shared a lot. And when you actually hear him speak and you realize the hardships and difficulties that he had been put through simply for being a vanguard of his own ancestral tradition, this is how you realize just how deeply African cultural traditions seem to pose a threat to all other systems. You know, he even recounted to us how even his herbalist shop, there were some foreigners who had come into that area and had been spreading all these stories about people not going to his herbal institution, but rather to go and, should we say, patronize like Chinese traditional medicine. So this was false propaganda that was being put there against his traditional healing work, even though Chinese traditional medicine would be using the same foliage that the African herbalist also knows. And what is sad for me from that experience was the fact that there were also Africans believing this propaganda, that they would rather not patronize him, but would see Chinese herbal treatments or Indian herbal treatments to have more value than the wisdom and the knowledge that their ancestors have compiled over so many centuries for them, specifically for their body physiology. But we all know this is part of the struggle that we face as people of African descent, or even giving African traditional knowledge systems a space in the space where we all have these discussions, yes, that we will be denied our own ancestral lineage and understandings. Yes, even when he recounted how the reason why he was living in Kuruman was because there had been at least 2 attempts on his life. You know, whenever he would try and set up, I believe there was a cultural community center in Pretoria, and he had to even leave that area because, again, there was threats to his life. You know, what really touched myself personally was the fact that even at risk of the fact that he'd nearly been murdered twice just for the work that he was doing. And this work is really, when we look at it at its simplest, is nothing other than showing that you believe your own ancestors also have value to share with the world, that this can cost you your life. When we think about these experiences that people of African descent have to contend with in this world, you know, we can see all the effects of it, whether it's high states of mental, what people might call, I'll call it dysfunctions. Yes, the fact that we have to deal with so much that it would actually seem as if the world works. And this is not even just from a Western point of view. Everyone seems to work to erase the African, to erase the African contribution. So what struck me most about Baba Credo was the fact that here was a 92-year-old man, and he walked with the agility of someone who was decades younger. And I remember he had this long sword that he used to carry with him. And he was like, yep, they can come onto the compound. I'm ready for them now. You know, and it was just beautiful to witness, you know? Just getting that experience totally transformed my life, you know? And it transformed, I know, all the film crew, some who are actually here with us today. And I give thanks to them for, you know, showing up. Because we all know the insights, the revelations that we encountered when we met Baba. And so for me, in closing, I'm also happy that we have family members who are also going to share, and they'll be coming right after myself. I will share a clip of Baba sharing some of his insights with us. And this is actually quite poignant, what he speaks about. So let us, as much as we might feel a sadness that Baba has left us, as Queen Mother Dòwòti reminded us, in our traditional perspective, we know Baba hasn't really left. Baba exists here, and Baba will always exist, because that essence of his, that energy that was really Baba, is always attainable to us. We just have to call a name. We just have to light a candle. Yes, we just have to speak to the wind, because in speaking to the wind, we're already connected to what we might call the creator or creative source of all things. So let us all take some compassion in Baba's own words, because I doubt very much Baba would want this to be just an event where the only thing we can express is sorrow, as we know it from the Western perspective. So I will now share with you my screen so we can...
My brother, if I may, just let
Yep.
you know that Sister Tossie Long is on. And so maybe after this, she can sing.
Beautiful. That's perfect timing. Yep. So here we go. If we can if you bear with me while I play. This is Baba Credo Mutwa, everyone. Let's
in whatever form I may be, in whatever, whether I come to earth as a plant, whether I come to earth as a bird, or whether I come to reincarnate as a fish. That is the purpose of life. Life is eternal. It does not begin in the womb only and end in the grave. No, that is not the African way. We are eternal. We are always here, and some of the things we are here for, we must not know about. Yes, I must look at my life and the strange things that happen in it, but I must know that I am the eternal one, just as God is the eternal one. We are on a journey, a long eternal pilgrimage through the void of creation. We can be anywhere at any time. We can be in the sea. We can be on a mountain. We can be everywhere. Just as God is everywhere. So we, on a very small scale, we are everywhere.
So there's Baba Credo reminding us of the essence that we truly are. And may we also remember him in each time that we go to our altars, to our shrines, to remember to mention the name that we used to refer to the spirit that was Baba Credo. And because his most fervent wish, as he explained to us, was in putting our traditional cultures at the same table where we find all else. So that concludes it for me. And as we have Sister Tossie Long, I've been informed also that we didn't see the whole video. Apologies for that. I thought I was sharing the screen. but hopefully we could all hear the sound. If we have time at the end, I will gladly replay it in full. So for now, I will gladly welcome on Sister Tossie Long to shake up the cells in our body with some beautiful vibrational melody. Sister Tossie, please.
Yes, I am here. I am here. So glad and so blessed to be here in the presence of you all and for Baba Credo Mutwa as I sing these songs in your honor and your celebration, in your healing and in your legacy. Papa Legba, Uiva Ipunu, Agoe, Atibon Legba, Uiva Ipunu, Uiva Ipunu, Papa, Punu Pase, Lena Rive, Nare Mesiluayo, Papa Legba, Uiva Ipunu, Agoe, Atibon Legba, Uiva Ipunu, Papa, Punu Pase, Narive, Nare Mesiluayo, Gedeni Bo Papa, Nu Annonseo, Papa Gedeni Bo, Nu Annonseo, Nu Annonseo, devant bon something n'a rassemblé. Gedeni Bo Papa, Nu Annonseo, quoi? Papa Gedeni Bo, Nu Annonseo, Nu Annonseo, devant bon samedi, n'a rassemblé, devant bon la croix, n'a rassemblé, devant bon nancy, n'a rassemblé. Get it via way, encore yo, when, crier I go, c'est pour yo. Get it via way, encore yo, when, crier I go, c'est pour yo. Ouve bae, papa, pour nous passer. Ouve bae, gede ni bo pour nous passer là. Get it via way, encore yo, when, crier I go, c'est pour yo. Get it via way, encore yo, when, crier I go, c'est pour yo. Get it via way, encore yo, when, crier I go, c'est pour yo. Ouve bae, papa pour nous passer. Ouve bae, gede ni bo pour nous passer là. Gede via way, encore yo, when, crier I go, c'est pour yo. Gede via way, encore yo, when, crier I go, c'est pour yo. Gede via way, encore yo, when, crier I go, c'est pour yo. Ouve bae, papa, pour nous passer. Ouve bae, gede ni bo pour nous passer là. Gede via way, encore yo, when, crier I go, c'est pour yo. Encore yo, when, crier I go, c'est pour yo. Encore yo, when, crier I go, c'est pour yo. Aye, Bobo. Thank you.
Aye, Bobo. Kwa Simbo.
Kwa.
Beautiful, beautiful, Sister Tossie. Give thanks for
wonderful.
That wonderful, beautiful piece of melody there. You know, we really appreciate you. Thank you, and thank you also. Well done for coming back in and sharing that beautiful talent with us. I believe now we will have some remarks from a member of the Mutwa family herself. So at this stage, I would like to, and please do forgive me if my intonation doesn't work as it's supposed to. We would welcome Sister Nzofo Mutwa from South Africa, please, to give us some remarks from the family. Please, go ahead. I saw her logged on.
You need to unmute if that might be the issue. To unmute. Okay, greetings.
Beautiful.
Greetings, can you hear me?
You can, loud and clearly.
You can hear me. Greetings. Thank you for giving me a chance to introduce myself. As Baba has taught me introducing myself, I need to first start with my clan name. I am a Mutwa. I am a descendant of the Khoisan people. Ngingumsweli, nginguphungaza, ngingumnguni waseGwetha, ngingumbembezi, ngingugwamanda, ngingunompanda mthome, ngingusifile kangoza, ngingucwicwicwi sidakwa yikho lokho. I am Nozipho Bieta Isis Mutwa. I'm the 5th child of the late Credo Mutwa and Tembegile Cecilia Mutwa. Credo Mutwa was blessed with 9 children, 7 boys and 2 beautiful girls. I am one of those girls. He was also blessed with 15 grandchildren, 10 great-grandchildren. I am one of those daughters of Credo Mutwa. Sometimes I sit and ask myself this question. What is the measure of a man? Is it the amount of money he has? The possessions he owns and the power he holds? Or is it a professional success he achieved over the years? I sit and ask myself this question, trying to understand who my dad is or who my dad was. I don't believe it is any of these things. A true measure of a man is how much love he gives, how selflessly he shares whatever he has to help others, how consistently he lifts up those around him with wisdom and kind heart. This is the kind of a man my dad was. A man who loves from the heart, a man who selflessly shares whatever he has to help others, a man who constantly lifts others with wisdom and kind heart. That's Credo Mutwa, my dad. That's how I explain him. Let me continue with the explanation. Who Credo Mutwa is, Baba. I called him Baba C. Ubaba is an international acclaimed Sanusi. He's a prophet. He's a sage. He's a healer. He's a teacher. He's a philosopher. He's a historian. He's an artist, a playwright, an orator. He's an indigenous wisdom keeper. You know, when I was writing this list, I thought about one of the characteristics of Baba in this list. Credo Mutwa, the playwright. You know, the way he suffered without resources. Baba wrote a play that depicts African spirituality. The name of the play was Unoslimela. Baba wrote Unoslimela way back in 1973, when my sister Nandi Nonkundla was born. With Unoslimela, Baba will make it a point that he uses his house as a theater. There were no resources. He had to use his house. He had to use his home as a theater. Guess who were the audience of Unoslimela? Us, Baba's children. Baba will make it a point that come Saturday, we dress up, we take our mini chairs, our chairs, we go outside and we sit around the fire and we watch the play. It was a standard of Baba that we watch that play. That's how Baba was teaching us about African spirituality through play, through that play, Unoslimela. We will watch the play and we will enjoy it. And guess who was the main actor in the play? That was Baba himself. He was all-rounder. He was also playing within Unoslimela, explaining African spirituality through play that he wrote. Ubaba sacrificed spending, as we grew, quality time with his biological family because of the love he had for African people. Baba loved African people. He knew that he has taught us so well and we are resilient. If he leaves us, we will continue with our lives while he go and take care of an African child. The day came, the 25th of March. What a day. That day, in the morning of that day, round about 12 o'clock, I was hearing voices in my ears. These voices were telling me that Baba is gone. I couldn't believe it. Because it was not long before I was with Baba. But now I'm home, the voices are telling me, before I could even receive a call, that Baba is gone. I was trembling just to hear that. I don't know who was busy whispering in my ears, but whoever it was that one ancestor who was making sure that I get the message before I receive the call from my stepmother. Those voices continued from 12 a.m. midnight. I went outside. I was afraid. I went outside to go tell my brother that I don't know what is happening. I'm hearing voices in my ears. The voices are telling me that Baba is gone. I went to my brother, Ulangalbalele. I told him, I said, Langa, I don't know what is happening. I can't sleep. And it's 12 o'clock. And somebody in my voice, in my ears is telling me that Ubaba is gone. Ubaba is no more. My brother just cried. I thought he was going to hug me and support me or remove the voices that I'm hearing in my ears, but instead he just broke down and cried. I went back inside the house. I just opened all the doors and the windows. It was very painful just to hear those ancestral voices in my ears. What a timing. What a timing where usually when you want to speak to your ancestors, you need to speak with your ancestors around about 3 o'clock a.m. That's the time when Baba taught me that 3 o'clock, all the Twasas must wake up. You must speak to your ancestors, music. Baba left that time. My stepmom called me. The first call, I looked at the phone. I was like, that's my stepmom. I know what she's going to tell me. Because already the voices have told me that Ubaba is no more. She called, I didn't pick up. She was persistent. She called again around about 3:30. She told me that Nozipho Ntate ha sale teng in Tswana, in Tswana. Even though I knew it was looming, but I was thinking, Baba, you betrayed me. You promised that you are not going. At least you'll give me your time up until 100 years. He promised that he will wait a little bit. When my stepmom told me that he's gone, I cried. I said, those voices, Baba didn't go 3 o'clock. Baba left. He was prepared. The ancestors were preparing him round about 12. Because 3 o'clock, yes, the spirit left him. But the ancestors told me that from 12 o'clock, Baba's journey was starting. It was very difficult. But I'm grateful that the time he passed, it was the time for me to wake up and call the ancestors. I managed to do that round about 3 o'clock. I was hoping that we could be granted more time to celebrate his 100 years with us. But the ancestors, they had another plan for him. The following day, we needed to go down to Kuruman. I was still shocked, I was angry, I was bitter. It's normal for a grieving person. Because I felt, you know, you have a great man like Credo Mutwa, a great dad. You don't even think that one day God will remember him. You think you'll just keep this man for yourself, keep this dad for yourself forever. The 4th of April came when we needed to bury Baba. That day, the 4th of April, it was the birthday of my niece. Because the 25th of March, it was a birthday of my elder brother. The 4th of April, it was the birthday of my niece. What a coincidence. Baba didn't want us to forget about him. The 4th of April, it was a barrier. I was busy chatting, telling people that the funeral is in Kuruman, change of plan, that we are on lockdown. My phone crashed. My phone crashed. I didn't understand why is my phone crashing, because I'm preparing the funeral, but Baba crashed my phone. I was miserable at first. I was like, how could he do this to me? But I came back to my senses. He wanted me to focus, because it's easy to be distracted on our phones. We are busy on our phones. We are forgetting about the preparations and the planning. He crashed my phone. He reminded me about the teaching that he taught me a long time ago about the body and the spirit. He taught me one day that Nozipo, there's a difference between a body and a spirit. He was asking me, which one is better? I remember I was laughing. I was like, I could keep my body and my spirit dead, please. He said, the spirit, Nozipo, it's very important. When I go, make sure that you take care of my spirit. I was confused. I was like, Baba is giving me heavy loads. He said, when I go, make sure that that spirit, you take it to the rightful owners of the spirit. In this case, it's us, his children, and the grandchildren, and the great-grandchildren, even though he passed on in Kuruma. He taught me that as a Zulu man, there's a tree that we use, Nozipo, to take the spirit. I was like, right. Now you want me to become a Sangoma. Oh, tell me about that tree. He said, there's a buffalo thorn tree. That buffalo thorn tree is a tree that is used to take the spirit, whether you're a Sangoma, whether you're anybody, that's the tree that is used to take the spirit, and you take the spirit and you put it to the rightful owners, so that when they want to speak to the late person, they could go and consult and speak to the spirit. Baba crashed my phone so that I can focus and so that I can be able to take his spirit and put it back where it belongs, back to the children, to us. Yes, I did that in honor of my dad. There was no way I'll mess that one up. There was no way. I performed with my other brothers the rituals that Baba taught me. It's so amazing. I'm hearing you're talking about the mother, the woman. Baba believed so much in a woman. Baba believed so much in me, making sure that I do things right. Sometimes I talk to my brothers and I'm like, okay, please take your rightful place. You are men of the house. They'll say, you are the one who must burn the incense, Nozipo. You were given umkhonto in isiZulu. Ubaba said, you must take care of the family. I was like, okay, me as a woman taking care of the family, please. Because when I was growing up, Ubaba gave me an assegai. I was carrying it here so that I can. Baba said, you will make it a point that you take care of your brothers. You take care of your brothers. You hold this. You are strong. You will carry this family. You'll take the legacy of the Mutwa family and make sure that you share with the country, share with people who believed or who believes in Credo Mutwa. I was like, right, you are giving me all this. It's very painful. So I took Baba's spirit, I gave it back to my brothers and Baba's grandchildren and Baba's great-great-grandchildren. So we had to separate the body in Kuruman and the spirit in South Africa, in Gauteng, because that's what he wanted. Baba also wanted me to build a foundation because he was constantly saying, Nozipho, take care of the legacy. I didn't understand then. I was busy with my own things. At first, he said I must build an institution. I was like, okay. I was busy with my own things. But he turned and said, you must create a foundation so that you can push my legacy, Nozipho. These great-grandchildren, they will come after you if you don't do something about the legacy. All these responsibilities, sometimes when I walk, I'm like, oh God, have mercy on me. I'm carrying a lot on my shoulders. He said to me, do not stress. I'm going to provide people who will help you. I thought, one of those things. And he did exactly that. I started the Credo Mutwa Foundation with other sisters of mine. And the ancestors chose who needed to be inside that foundation. Amazing. One day I was sitting, people were coming. We want to serve Baba. We want to serve Baba. The ancestors chose who is in this foundation. I didn't do any work. The ancestors chose qualified, respectful women who will take Baba's legacy to another level. There's a lot that you're going to see that will come out of this foundation. Yes, I'm still building it, but people who are in the foundation are qualified. You talk about African spirituality, they will tell you as if they are sleeping. Allow me to introduce these women who were picked by the Mutwa ancestors and the Ngobo ancestors, my mother. These are the women who are going to push, who are going to help me to push Credo Mutwa's legacy. And they were handpicked by the ancestors. It's like they were mushrooming like that. The only thing that I had to do as Isis is to do a ritual in acceptance of these women and men. Allow me to respect their ancestors and call their names. Rutendo Ngara, Matsidiso Sidai, Nomatamsanga Nyembe, Kitumezi Mohabia. Another activity that Baba wanted me to do was to walk into his footprint. He said, you won't know it, you won't feel it until you walk into my footprint. Then he said, don't stress, I'll bring in the documentary team as well. This is all ancestors speaking to me in my sleep. Because these people, you'll hear somebody knocking and say, I'm looking for Nozipho. I'm like, okay, right. What do you want? They'll tell me I'm good in doing documentaries. I'm good in writing. I'm good in telling stories. Like, okay, I don't have a job and I don't have money. Nosipo, how can we help you? These are the people that were selected by the ancestors. I have a documentary team as well that they are busy with the footprint of Credo Mutwa. The money that they have, they are using their own resources. Nobody gets paid in this foundation. We are all volunteers. Khulile Nxumalo, Tapelo Makubo, Lita Boy, Saki Bonga. And we also have another volunteer who's trying so hard to make sure that Credo Mutwa has a website. Ramesh Masina. We also have our young legal person who's trying so hard that all the rights of Credo Mutwa's books are coming back to the children, because everybody took everything. There's nothing for the family. There's nothing for the family. So she came and said, how can I help? I was like, Obaba passed on crying that he didn't get anything. His books are taken by different people. She's very young, energetic. She said, let me help. Her name is Khalalelo Khosija. We are not a complicated foundation. So I think our mission is to contribute to a spiritually liberated society by preserving the legacy and the teachings of Ubaba Credo Mutwa through the provision of platforms of engagement. This is our mission. This is what I thought, okay, let's contribute. Ubaba has done a lot of work. Let's just do bits by pieces, mixing this, and make sure that whatever that, let us be a resource. If people want Baba, right now I'm receiving a lot of calls. People want Baba's books. I'm receiving calls from children from the age of 14. They're asking me, please teach us about African spirituality. I don't have resources. I don't have Baba's books. They're all over. So we are doing this for Baba. And another strategic objective that I thought about, or we thought about, is to ensure that Sanusi, my dad's legacy, all he sacrificed for, is amplified and lives on. I just want to make whatever that Baba has done, let it live on to our great-great-grandchildren, to everybody. We can't be selfish with Baba's work. We need to share Baba's work. But there must be a point where people get all these resources. They cannot be all over. They need to be coordinated in one place. That is why I thought I'm starting this foundation, so that things can be coordinated. Yes, I need help. I need help to push this legacy. He said I must do it. He even changed my name. I remember before he passed on, a month before he passed, I was with him. I just did a breakfast. I call it our last breakfast. I went to the living room. I was talking to him before the COVID-19 started. He said to me, Nosipo, Beata, look up into the sky. I looked. He said, what do you see? I said, nothing, because I was afraid to tell him that I see something, because he was like, right, now run with it. I said, nothing. He said to me, I can see you are so afraid, my child. You are afraid to continue. I told him, I'm afraid that if people can hurt him, how about me? I told him, I'm afraid. He said, you know what? Go. Go do it. I'm behind you. And he changed my name. Baba loved my name, Pieta. But before he passed, he said, you are not Pieta anymore. You are Isis. Go, Isis. Go do it. You will do it. I'm behind you. He gave me hope. He gave me hope to continue. Sometimes when I visit him in Kuruman, because he was staying in Kuruman, Baba had a lot of houses. We were in the other house of my mother's place. When I visit him in Kuruman, our language was singing. Baba loved music. Baba also had music that he wrote. God's willing, from the foundation, I'm sure I'm going to release that music as well. It's so beautiful. There's a song within the family. We call it a national anthem of the family. Baba loves singing. Every time when we visit him as the foundation, he will say, you are not leaving before you sing for me. And we will sing. Him sleeping there, but you'll hear Baba's voice coming out and you'll see him glowing because of music. That gave me hope. Baba was singing so beautifully. There's a song that we all loved, and we call it a national anthem of the family. Bear with me, I'm not a good singer, but I will try singing the song. It's the song that Baba loved so much. Masikanye, masikanye, isibani sokuthula. Masikanye, masikanye, isibani sokuthula. Empumalanga, ntshonalanga, isibani masikanye. Pumalanga, ntshonalanga, isibani masikanye. Let it shine on, let it shine on, let the lamp of peace to shine. Let it shine on, let it shine on, let the lamp of peace to shine. In the north and in the south, let the lamp of peace to shine. In the east and in the west, let the lamp of peace to shine. Makos, makos amakhulu, makos, magwande, wandubuhle, ungandububi, makos, let it shine on. Baba always believed that let there be peace. Whatever that we do, let there be peace. Makos, makos amakhulu.
Makos.
Thank you. That's beautiful.
Thank you so much, Sister Sanusi, for you moved us greatly with your personal account. At this stage, we would like to welcome a number of priests who will be engaging us in prayer it was important for myself and Sister Yeye and Brother Dalian to make sure that this event reflected the full global impact of Baba's life, of his words, of his teachings on all of us. So we have had representatives from Haiti, myself and Sister Tossie. She's also from the US, but we also have people from Guyana and Cameroon, and of course Nigeria and from Southern Africa. I will ask that the priests, starting with the Reverend Désir Wordz of the Divine Temple of St. Matthias in Guyana, make her offering of prayers. This will be followed by the drummers of Buxton Fusion. Following that, Brother John Osobo, Afuraka of Cameroon, our Chief Olaifa Okemuyema, the Awufawuni Agbeye in the US and Nigeria will then follow Brother Osobo, and we will have a song of wailing. Sister Kondongo Sheila Mbele Kahama, who is the commissioner, sits on the Commission of Culture, Religion, and Language in South Africa. And finally, Baba Mene de Griot will come back, will close the section of prayers out. And when this portion of prayer is completed, I'm going to ask all of you to take your hands and cleanse them in a purification rite as we go on with our day or our night. So again, I thank you for this. We thank you for this. We thank all of you for your great patience. But there was so much love. There was so much that had to be said for Baba. I think you could indulge us. So if Sister Reverend Désir Wordz is present.
Sister Reverend is present. The name, it says Bibi, but it's it's Bibi. Bibi is part of the church.
Okay.
So yeah, she's ready to go. This is her here. Over to you, Reverend.
Greetings to all. I feel rather overwhelmed. I feel blessed. And I'm grateful and thankful for this wonderful privilege given to me by the entire group. And because I've got this privilege to communicate with you people today and to listen in to all that was said about this great patriarch, I now pray God that he being the source of it all, I pray that he poured out his spirit from on high and grant the blessing upon those who have left to carry on this great and wonderful work of this departed soul. We thank God for this soul that has passed, for we come to realize and recognize the goodness of him being a part of our lives. At this time, as we offer prayers, we know that God had clothed him with righteousness. We come to realize that he stands as an individual to represent the cause of God's people here on earth. And so it be that he had taught the nation, he inspired the nation, he performed the rites of wisdom, he had the zeal and the faith to impact the nation. As he impart his knowledge within and without, we thank God that he had chosen this great man. As I sit and I listen, Father, to all the greetings and messages and all the confirmation of his wonderful work, I thank God today that I am a part of the hearing of all this and even more. And with this blessing that has been endowed upon this nation, near and far, as the people hear and reach out in reception of this blessing, may we all be taught to love and continue to have this unity of peace and share our mutual bonds one with another. May we continue to watch and pray and never faint. And this should be by day and by night, because thou alone is our God and our God. And as we have had the opportunity to have our ancestors to energize us, to impart in us the knowledge and to give unto us this divine blessing through the saints, we give most high praise and thanks. And so when all of this had come to a closure, may we continue to understand that we are not alone, that our ancestors are being given to us as the mark and the seal, that as we go about our business, we can continue to carry on the legacy of these ancestors. Again, we thank Jehovah Jireh for this wonderful soul. And for all those who are commemorating at this time, all those who have lent an ear and lent a message to the entire world, Father Almighty, give them more zeal that they can continue to do the work that is set out to do. And for the children and the grandchildren, all the offsprings of this, our great and wonderful servant of God, may they live not alone, but continue to manifest what they were taught. May they continue to teach. May they continue to remember that they are not lost, and the lives of us can live on, and that we can continue to show forth the goodness of our forefathers until our times are no more. We give an high note of praise and thanks. I thank again our sister Michelle and this entire body with a divine service as you share your wisdom, your knowledge, and your understanding. That as you continue to work together, may nothing but strength and energies, even at this time that we are passing, we know that God is still on the throne. He is still God of all. He is still manifesting the work which he set out to do, and we will never fail. So we give him a high note of praise and thanks for this wonderful time of togetherness. Glory and honor to his name. I thank you.
This is Marlon of Buxton Fusion. This is his son. So what you're seeing here before you now is the Buxton Fusion, who are part of the church, which Reverend Désir is the Reverend for. So this is her son, and that's her grandson. So they're going to take over and give us some drumming. Greetings, Brother Marlon. Greetings, young one. Greetings. Greetings. Welcome. We're looking forward to your drumming. We can't hear it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You. That was wonderful. Thank you, Reverend. Thank you so much. And Bibi at the back, I can't see you. Do you want to pop in so we can see you, that you're there? You're hiding at the back, waving. But Bibi is there doing the filming.
Hi everyone, peace and love.
Yes, okay, good. Thank you for setting it up so that you could all be in the same place and have access to the Wi-Fi as well, because I know you're in curfew or whatever, lockdown too there in Guyana. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye-bye, thank you.
We're going to buckle our seatbelts, right? Because we're leaving Guyana and we are taking our flight to Cameroon, right? And so we welcome our brother, John.
Can I just interrupt you, Queen Mother, because we didn't get him on unless he can identify himself. But what they're doing, they're actually creating a space, which I have some pictures. He sent me some pictures. So they're creating a space where they are lighting a fire and, you know, and doing it that way. But he was going to try and come on, but it would have been unstable for him anyway. But I just want to then share you some of the pictures that he sent me of what he was doing. Is that okay?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, let me just get to that. So I just have to exit the full screen. And so this is one of them that I'm hoping that you can see. So they set up this compound in which is nearby a coastal area in Cameroon, and so they'll set that up, and then in the middle they'll have this fire going on.
Sister, if you can share your screen, please.
Oh, it's not, you're not seeing it. Okay, hold on a minute. Sorry, thank you. I thought you could see that. 1 minute. Okay, can you see that now, Brother Dalian?
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Okay, so this was what I was just saying. It was the compound where they would be, and they would be setting up the fire along here.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so that's one of them, and there was another one if I can get it along. It's just awkward with these sharing things because you have to keep going out. But I wanted to make sure that we acknowledged that they were doing something, and it wasn't. Yeah, so this is another one.
Mm-hmm.
Of them doing their ritual there. So yeah, so we give thanks that Brother John Asoko of the Farouk Raqqa, they couldn't get on, but they are there doing a ritual, a sending home ritual, which is what this would be for their ancestor. They're a young group. He says that they are trying to elevate the tradition, but they're having some struggles because there are not too many of the elders that are enabling them to do that, which is, you know, one of the things that Baba Credo was certainly promoting. But in this case, Brother John is really glad to be able to be part of this and to now be aware of Baba Credo because he wasn't previously. So this is one of those things Sister Nasiba was talking about the legacy continuing across the world now. So I just wanted to share that with you on behalf of Brother John Asoba. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So,
thank you.
Okay, so.
Okay, so then, thank you for those images. It'll be exciting to see once the fire is actually lit. Well then, if Chief Olafia Okemuyima is present, would you kindly identify yourself? Is the chief there?
Yes, he
I'm
is.
here.
Baba Lanre?
Yes.
I'm here.
Alafia Baba. You have the floor.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes, Baba Lanre, if you can kindly introduce yourself, and it's your turn.
Okay. My name is Chief Larry Dada Olaifa Okemuyiwa, an Ifa priest from Nigeria, book writer, film producer, and a cultural advocate. We are here today to sympathize with our family and all the godchildren of our father, Credo Mutwa. May God Olodumare spare the life of all the family and let him rest in peace. Awa arawa, landaru arawa o, awa arawa, landaru arawa, awa arawa, landaru arawa o, awa arawa, landaru arawa. Ìdèjúpò kété o, ọmọ rẹ̀ ń dárò, àwa ara wa, là ń dárò ara wa, àwa ara wa, là ń dárò ara wa o, àwa ara wa, là ń dárò ara wa. Ikú pa Buza Mazulu Credo Mutwa. Àwọn ẹgbẹ́ rẹ̀ ń dárò, àwa ara wa, là ń dárò ara wa. Death is a relief to all mankind. We are happy that our father did not run mad before he died. He came to this world and he achieved his aim by helping a lot of people worldwide. My prayer for all his family is for them to stay strong, and for all devoted God's children worldwide. May his spirit continue to lead us right. Erédèrè àánú, ìyẹ̀rẹ̀dìyẹ̀rẹ̀ àrò. Bójú bá ṣe méjì wọn àwòrán, bí ìdí bá ṣe méjì wọn àjòkó lórí ẹni. Ọwọ́ ẹnìkan kì í ró ṣẹkẹṣẹkẹ jáko. Ẹsẹ̀ ẹnìkan kì í ṣe gìrìgìrì lọ́nà. Ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ yẹn ṣe pé ní sọ́dọ̀ tágì jẹ́. Wọ́n ní kúnlẹ̀ kí ara wájú mo kúnlẹ̀ mo kára wájú. Mo ní tara wájú ilé ẹni. Wọ́n lè gun bàbẹ̀ lára wájú ilé ẹni. Wọ́n ní kí n kérò tí mi rò tí mi lẹ́yìn. Mo kérò mi rò tí mi lẹ́yìn. Mo ní ta lè rò tí mi lẹ́yìn. Wọ́n ní eégún lè bàbẹ̀ lè rò tí mi lẹ́yìn ẹ̀ ní alápàǹdẹ̀dẹ̀. Ló jẹ́ tán bẹ́ẹ̀ ni òkanlẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ògògè bẹ́ẹ̀ ni òkọrun. Kóńbẹ́ lágbede méjì ọlọ́run. Ohun Olódùmarè lójúlójú. Ohun ọmọ aráyé lẹ́nu lẹ́nu. Àkàngàgàrà. Bíbá fún Òfíṣọlá. Ọmọ àrà náà ti nífẹ̀ẹ́. Ìyá rẹ̀ fìlẹ̀ kú ní kékeré. Léńje léńje léńje. Bàbá rẹ̀ fìlẹ̀ kú ní kékeré. Léńje léńje. Láláì mọ dídá ọwọ́. Láì mọ̀ títí alẹ́ ẹ̀fẹ̀. Láì bá wọn tó tún fẹ́ jọjú rárá. Ó dìgbẹ̀ kínní. Wọ́n wá kó ohun òrùlẹ̀. Ó dùbú sẹ́kún. Gbèmí lọ́kọ́ta fìlẹ̀ wo mọ̀. Ìṣòro ọ̀run. Buza Mazulu Credo Mutwa. Dákun wá bá wa tó rò yí ṣe. Ìṣòro ọ̀run. Buza Mazulu Credo Mutwa. Ó di gbére. Ó di àrìnàkò. Ó di ojú àlá. Ká tó ríra. Goodbye, Baba.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next, we would like to call on our sister. It wouldn't be right if we didn't have. She's from South Africa. Sister Gonondo Sheila Mbele Kama. Welcome, and please introduce yourself.
Yeah, how do you see how many people?
Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes. We can hear you.
Okay.
Yes.
Good evening and good morning, good day to all of you, and greetings to the Almost High and our ancestors, and greetings to all the gods and goddesses of our land and the land at large. My name is Sheila Mbele Kama. I'm a commissioner by profession, but I am Isangoma and a high priestess. I'm a South African. It is said it is okay to be what we are doing today. I'm reminded of the time when I was summoned by Baba himself, and in his summoning me, I was just coming from Ethiopia on work related, and I was told that Baba wants to see you. I was, okay, let me go, and just to hear what did I do. You know, I don't know if an elder summoned you like that. And when I reached there, and he said, I have been waiting for you. And I said, did I do something wrong? Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah, it's all right. It's just someone unmuted themselves. Oh. So it's okay. They're muted now.
Okay. And when I reached there, he then, as if he knows me from long, and he greeted me on, you know, using my ancestral lineages. And it was a pleasure to meet Baba and Mama Virginia. You know, we sat for days speaking. I will never forget seeing Baba's tears. I've never seen an elder crying, literally crying. And he cried so much that he's nothing of this world. Whatever that he is someone that is hated. It was 2016, and is someone that has been hated. Oh, well, we try to comfort Baba And as Nozipo have said, my sister Nozipo, and we sang. He loves singing. We sang as well. But one day I came, I was very late when I went to see him again, because it was almost every day that I had to sit for these big lectures that I was not ready to hear as a daughter, and so many things that he had to reveal that my mind at the time was not ready to hear. And I tried to walk away, but he ensured that I stayed. And the thing that hurt me most, you know, when you know Baba, you know that when he says things are going to happen. We talked about events that needs to happen, and he told me that I'm aware that in 2012 you already started riding the mountains. I said, yes, I was told to go on top of mountains and check, because in us mountains are shrine, it's places of ancestors. So I was called to look at those things. Then he said, you know that there's some rituals that needs to be done. And I said, yes, I'm aware. And he said, you know how this has to be done. Then we engage on how this has to be done in what I knew and in what he knew as well. And Baba was not a person that will tell you what to do. He would say,
Don't know how long she'll be for. Her network system might have just gone down a little bit because it was crackling all the way through. So we'll just see if she comes back.
He said, I'm leaving. I will be leaving in 3 years to come. And I said, oh, okay, you will be leaving in 3 years to come to where now? He says, when this thing, which is this thing that needs to happen, I won't be there. But again, he brought in the time that we are facing now, the COVID-19, and he said it as it is. But he said, in 3 years' time, I'll be gone. And from that day, I think I switched off my mind away from what he said. When we went to know, okay, we were supposed to go and visit him now and then, but I felt that I want to distance myself on this. I'm a healer, I understand, but this is too much. I can't handle the pressure that I'm feeling now, but I'll stay away from what Baba has said. And in February, we decided with Sister Nozipo to say, you know what, let's go and see Baba. I've got time this week, let's drive and went there. We went there. At 94, he would speak, he would do anything. He called Nozipo, Isis, each and every one of us, because we were 3, we had our tents with him on things that we needed to do. And when we left, on the day on the 25th, both Nozipo, we are not sleeping. I remember that we had to speak in the morning when she sent me a message to say, I can't sleep. I said, what's wrong? He said, your mother has called. I said, okay, take the call. He said, but I'm not ready. I said, it's time, Nozipo. You need to take the call. It was shocking for me that I wanted to believe, but I did not want to believe that he knew that in 3 years' time, from the time I spoke to him to the time that he has to leave, eventually he's sleeping, he is leaving. I tried to bargain. You know, you try to bargain with God. You try to bargain with ancestors to say, I'm traumatized here, and hopefully this is not going to happen. Hopefully he's just playing. You know, you want these things not to happen, but unfortunately it did happen. It did happen that he left. I then helped Nozipo to ensure that Baba's rites of passages, all of them, will be taken care of. The time of him leaving, the time of him being planted, the time of him going back to the womb. It is the time when the goddess at 3 o'clock that will need to plant him, because that's what he wanted. And we did exactly as he wanted. Everything that we did at the time in a short space, it was pure. It is as if he knew that I only wanted this. Yes, he wanted only few people at the time, And it was so amazing that we're able, in short time, to be able to organize that and do that. On the same night, I wrote a song to him. And in the song, I was saying to him, I didn't want to listen, you know. I didn't want to hear him saying the words that he was sharing with. As much as I say, some I can't speak about them. When I'm ready, I will reveal these things. And I wrote a song that says, you are running away now. Finally, you have left. Finally, you have gone, you know. And I think it was for me to accept that in whatever Baba is, I did not look at Baba as a guide, as a guardian, as a person that was beyond our time. I think I took it for granted that Baba was like any Baba or grandfather that one would want to be with at the time and engaging with him. I remember he cried so much one night about when we talked about Columbus, we talked about Congo, we talked about lands and lands. We talked about so many things that was so painful in him. You know, we engaged on the history itself. And to an extent that he even mentioned, because my ancestral lineage emanate from Congo. I'm the descendant of the Pygmy people that are called Batwa as well in Congo. They migrated south to where we are today. But we reflected on that. Then when he left, it's a story that I'm not sure whether I'm ready to talk about or not ready to talk about. But I would like to give you a piece, what I wrote for him, and wherever he is, and traveling the skies of Africa, and to say Mother Earth came to embrace and took him back home. And as he journeyed the land and the plains, the rivers, and the mountains of our land, it's only the body that we've seen planted. And he ensured that no one would see the shadow because he was planted at 3 a.m. in the morning. And I know that he's still smiling and going forth. And he may be laughing because he laughed sometime when he will ask you a question and you're still struggling to give the answer back, and to say farewell to him and farewell to the guide, farewell to my mentor, and farewell to my teacher. And I embrace all the teachings. I will never forget. I know my task and I know what needs to be done. Ingonyana yetu, yaze yahambe emhlabeni. Ingonyana yetu, yaze yahambe emhlabeni. La lupumule tongana, waze wahamba emhlabeni. La lupumule waze wahamba emhlabeni. luphumule thongala ula luphumule thongala wase wahamba Baba Mutwa ula luphumule thongala ula luphumule thongala wase wahamba the song says he must rest in peace. He's gone. Finally, he has to leave this world. Finally, he had to leave us back. And we should not forget things that he loved. There are songs that, as a sangoma, when you say it's not me that has given this gift to myself, it's I am because of the ancestors. I am because they wanted me to be. He would say, people like us are people that not wanted in this world, are people that not being appreciated for. He said, if you know, it's so painful to know and to understand. It's so painful to be amongst the many when spirits are speaking to you. Sometimes you do not know how to tell others what you see, what you know, what is about to happen, because you are fearing of your life. But however, he wished us to embrace this time. The message he left for us was saying, you need to be at peace with yourself. We need to be at peace with our gifts. We need to be at peace and have tolerance, even for those that don't want to see us, for those that don't want us to be there. He said, love them more. Bring them back. These are your sisters, they are brothers, across the colors, across the plain. I asked him to say, you said I should travel Africa. I said, I did not say that. I said, travel the world and let peace be and enjoy yourself. And he would sing this song that says, Emina ngizenza ngawukele ngenziwa ngabalele ngawukele bangithwesa lo mthwalo baba awukele wethonga lami ngawukele obaba ngizenzanga ngawukele ngenziwa ngabalele ngawukele bangithwesa lo mthwalo baba ngawukele wethonga lami ngawukele hawuka thonga lami awuka baba omkhulu awuka thonga lami baba hawukele wethonga lami hawukele makhosi thokozani. The songs say, I did not make myself, it's the ancestors wanted us to be here this time. He knew that we'll convene and we'll celebrate him. In pain, we laugh. In joy, we laugh. May our love, our head be turned into positiveness. And he said, let's heal the world and ensure that we cleanse and we heal. He said, across the oceans, we're supposed to be cleaning the oceans. We're supposed to be cleansing the mountains. We're supposed to be cleansing spaces where we know pain has endured, and so that we are healing. If Mother Earth is not healing, we won't be able to heal. So was that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Baba Menes de Griot will be performing the last section of this prayer, and I give you the floor.
I thank you much. I thank you much. I thank you much. Mutupwe, lopo. Muduba Olodumare, and your response is Ashe. Muduba Olodumare. Muduba Ori.
Ashe.
Ashe.
May our Ori allow us to make the correct decisions so that we can fulfill our destiny. Mojua Iya.
Ashe.
Mojua Baba.
Ashe.
It's our fathers that bring us. It's our mothers that keeps us. All of us are here today because our mothers made the correct decision. May all of the mothers on this planet continue to make the correct decisions. Mujua Mauritius. And today we call on all of the Mauritius to assist us in this very dreadful time that we are facing. We call on Babalua Yeye, Shapana, Osai, Okose, are you still there with me?
Yes, Baba.
Because I think I lost my screen.
Yeah, we can see, we can hear you, and we can see a still of you.
Okay. I don't know what happened there. But we also acknowledge all of the Irumalis. We acknowledge all of the Egunguns. We acknowledge our Eguns. And I would like for everybody to just, sorry, I lost my screen. I don't know how to get back to this screen, but
we can hear you though, Baba.
Okay, so just put your hands together. Just give me a clap. Everybody. Everybody. Eguna lakba o, eguna lakba, eguna lakba o, eguna lakba, lakba, eguna lakba, eguna lakba, eguna lakba, lakba, eguna lakba, eguna lakba. In the midst of so much ungodliness, we have a conscious revolution that is taking place. I give thanks to all of us who are a part of that conscious revolution. To everyone who is on this live, to all of those who are responsible for putting this great and wonderful program together, I give thanks to you. And I also would like to confirm that when I was in South Africa, 2002, among the vendor people, the ones that made the Ngoma drums, the vendor drums for me, they told me that yes, the vendor people came from the Congo, and there's a great connection between South Africa and Guyana. There's a very strong history. Many of us speak about the connection between Nigeria and other places, but there's a strong connection with South Africa and Guyana, and I want to acknowledge that. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe.
Ashe, Ashe,
Ashe.
Ashe. Thank you so much.
And the other brother that's on here with the African voices, what's your name?
Ancestral Voices, Brother Dalian.
Yes, brother.
Brother Darian, I think that you may have connected and sent me a link. I think it was in 2000. It has to be after 2007 when I did a program, and I have a strong feeling it is you that sent me a link, because I did a program concerning our ancestors when I was honored by the Guyana Cultural Association. And I think you guys sent me a link that spoke to the program that I did. But I'll look for it. I want to thank everyone again for allowing me to be a part of this program. Sorry, I lost my screen. Somebody was calling me and I click on them to get rid of them and look, I lost my screen. Okay, peace and bless.
Peace and blessing.
Peace and blessings. We could hear you, Baba. We could hear you. And thank you so much for actually being on throughout for the whole thing, because I know you were at your workplace and you managed to stay on. So I'm really, really thankful to you. Oh, there you are. You're back.
Okay.
Give thanks.
Wow.
Give thanks.
Well, this has been quite an extraordinary afternoon, and we are most grateful for everyone who has participated. But I would be remiss not to give a special word of thanks to Sister Nozipho for joining us and for letting us know how much, great efforts she's putting in to continue the legacy of her father. I remember one of his books, he was very much worried about who was going to continue that work. He was saddened at the time that there was no one, but you are here. And so we give thanks for that. And Sister Fania Davis, Dr. Reverend, thank you for creating these contacts for us and for being here. And Yeye Tish, we love you. We thank you for all that you've done. All of you have just been extraordinary. And I have to give a special shout out to my goddaughter, Tracy Brown, who is doing some of the back end kung fu with regard to responding to text messages and concerns about getting online. So thank you all. We've joined the end of our event, and there's a small ritual that we'll do. I hope everybody has their bowl of water. In our traditions, at least in Haitian Voodoo, whenever we do a memorial for someone, whenever we honor the dead, those who have made their transition, it's imperative that we purify, we mark the space with our purified hands. So we're taking a symbolic bath, so please dip your hands in the water, and your perfume or your basil or the petals, the flower petals that you have should be in there. Wipe your hands, symbolically cleanse yourself. We ask Spirit to remove all negativity to us. We thank Spirit for the moment that we've had together to be in communion with those who have passed on. We're not ready to see them anytime soon, not today. We ask and seek longevity and pray for their continued guidance as we cleanse ourselves. And we give thanks for being able to be here together in this virtual space, which is the most virtuous of spaces. We're using this space as it was intended to be used, to connect, to create community, to share love, to make sure that no one ever feels alone, to join our hearts and spirits in one place, in one world. Thank you all for being here. And for those who have tried hard to get online, those who had all sorts of technical difficulties, forgive us. We've done our best. We're all new at this. This is a new world that we're in, a new way of engaging, at least for most of us who are over 30 who, I don't know, might just be just a few of you here. So be patient with us. Do come back and support all of us, support the Credo Mutwa Foundation, support Ancestral Voices and Wive's Wordz, support the AfroAtlantic Theologies and Treaties Institute. Thank you for upholding our hearts, and thank you for enabling us to carry the spirit of the High Sanusi, Baba, Usamela Zulu, Credo Mutwa. Ashe Aibubo.
Ashe.
I
turn the floor over to our beloved sister.
Yes. I'm here to echo very much what has already been said in thanking everybody who has come on this event, to thank all of the speakers. Thank you especially to, at the moment, I had been the host, but thankfully we had some issues with that. And Tracy Brown, who Queen Mother's already mentioned, has been doing the hosting in terms of the technicals behind, as well as myself to a point, but she has taken over. And as Queen Mother rightly said, this is new for all of us. And, you know, the thing is, we never let that stop what we're doing. We never stopped realizing that this needed to happen. The Baba will provide what needs to be provided, what we need to have to make it happen. So it's been recording throughout. So that recording will get to be shared with everybody who has tried to get on, and plus, and then some. We'll keep sharing this so that the Baba's legacy will be not forgotten. That is not going to happen. And this was why we even did this. It was when we were speaking about it, we mentioned between us that if it was other people who have passed, they have these big elaborate sending offs, but he's our light. This is our light. This is our star. And so this is our way of sending off this star that we know is there, is, as Brother Dalian said earlier, is here, it's here and ever. And so we give thanks to all of you for coming. Thanks for all of the emotional tributes. Thanks to all of you who didn't come and speak necessarily, but as I was scrolling through, I could see the beams of light in your faces. And I'm so glad that we persevered to do this and to make it happen so that we can all delight in the joy of our tradition, in the beauty of our tradition. And each and every one of us are actually warriors now, just as our Baba is a warrior. And we are warriors of this tradition. And I trust that we will continue to fight for it, defend it, promote it, elevate it in all that we do. And in all we do, one of the things that I remember from the Ancestral Voices documentary was Baba saying, harm no one. This is the thing that I cling to, harm no one. And therefore, if we harm no one, we exude the love that Baba had. And it hurts. It hurts to know that he felt what most of us who are in the tradition experience, but he felt it, he was out there feeling it. We're in our privacy, in our homes, in our family, who are not understanding what we're trying to do and what we're about. But he's in the front line, being attacked and defending and staying true to that tradition, to that belief. So we want in this event, certainly, for his spirit to know that we love him, and we will continue to love him, and we will continue to remember in all that we do, in all our goings out and our coming in. So from wherever you are right now in the world, and I'm glad that we're as spread as we can be, I give thanks to you for being here, for making this possible. Every one of us, there's joy and there's love and light in our hearts because we made this possible and we were able to get in to this moment. So thank you all so much. Whatever you do now is up to you, but thank you so much. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here. Brother Dalian and sister, especially Queen Mother, who this came about because you had suggested that we do a candle vigil on another moment, and then this opportunity came about. Thank you for that. And Brother Dalian, thank you as the co-organizers. We are very, very proud that this event was made possible by our commitment. Thank you.
My pleasure, sister. Yeah, and also just to say, for instance, the link to Baba Credo's daughter's foundation. I don't know if we can put it in the chat now, or if she can put it in the chat now, or maybe she can email it later. And then when you put the video out on YouTube, you know, people can find these links and make the necessary connections as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Brother Dalian, will you be able to share the clip with us that we weren't able to see fully?
Yes, sure. Queen Mother Dòwòti, my pleasure. I found it now. I never shared my screen, so apologies once again. But I found it now, so here we go. I will bring it on now. So let's hear from the immortal Baba Credo.
In whatever form I may be, in whatever, whether I come to earth as a plant, whether I come to earth as a bird, or whether I come to reincarnate as a fish, that is the purpose of life. Life is eternal. It does not begin in the womb only and end in the grave. No, that is not the African way. We are eternal. We are always here, and some of the things we are here for, we must not know about. Yes, I must look at my life and the strange things that happen in it, but I must know that I am the eternal one, just as God is the eternal. We are on a journey, a long eternal pilgrimage through the void of creation. We can be anywhere at any time. We can be in the sea. We can be on a mountain. We can be everywhere. Just as God is everywhere. So we, on a very small scale, we are everywhere.
Give thanks.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. There are so many messages that are coming through on the chat. So thank you all for all of the messages, and I acknowledge each and every one of you. I've seen the messages. And so, yeah, thank you so much. I think we we are done. So I can, we can, I don't know what everybody wants to do. You all seem to be still like, we're staying. Normally when we do at this part, everybody's gone. But you can unmute yourselves and do what you need to do. I will change the view so that when, you know, and then you could say your hello, goodbye, whatever, and you will come in and out. So I'll change the view.
You could play the drum.
Yeah, play the drum. Play the drum as you're doing that. Okay, I'll share the screen. I'll play the drums. But everybody, before that, you could say, wave your hellos or wave your hellos so that we could, because this is recording.
Thank you much. Thank you much.
Yeah, good. I'll scroll it along so that we can see other people waving. Yes, on the clip. Brother Shakara, Bandaka. Greetings, everyone. I'm going to try and name some of you that I can see. Bizwe, Tatani, Kofi, I recognize you. Yeah, Sister Tutiet. Hello, everybody. Sister Jai. Galaxy Prime, that's you, even though I can't see your name. I'm going to scroll along. Dan, Tracy, Malthair, Paula Richards, Clarice, thank you all so much. Makeda, Verona, Jamie, and there's a whole heap on the other screen. Ellen, Eloise, Iola, Williams, greetings everybody, and thank you all so much. Tolu, Michael, Denise, and so on. There's so many of you on here, I can't even. Osho, okay, right, okay, so I will play another drum clip, which was Baba's, because we are still here. So let me see if I can find that though, because the thing is when you start to move away, something always goes on. Okay, I think it might be in here. Okay. But which one should I play? The Trinity one?
Yeah, you could play the Trinity one. Any one of them is nice. But don't play either one.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Sister Jackie, I recognize you. I see you all. Okay. Queen Mother, they're still here.
I'm suggesting we play something that's going to have us dancing.
Well, play the other drum you will dance to.
Yes.
So the other drum that we put on, you need to get up. Okay. Oh, is someone trying to show a picture? Okay, I can see the picture of Baba Dr. Wade. You're trying to show one of the pictures, the paintings. Okay.
May we sing for you?
Thank you, Sister Nasifa. Thank you. Okay, so so we're going to do the drum, the other drum, and this time we need to move, energize from our spaces.
Why singavele sithi unmute kule ingoma sikhuluma. Oh.
How do I do it again?
Video on for us.
Father, spread your wings and cover me.
Oh, that was awesome. Thank you. I mean, it's the first time that since I've been doing these, that the meeting and Baba, that was beautiful. That's like about
You're welcome.
the fifth time I've listened to it for the day.
And thanks for the advice.
Yes. No. I'm so impressed, Baba, that you have been on this. I kind of did this with you a couple of days ago, and you've been on it.
Yes.
Yeah. So no, that's really good. And 50 of people are still on this platform. So it's pretty amazing. Like the energy, obviously.
It's just FOMO. So I'm gonna say is a joy. And hope to join you all again sometime.
Oh, thank you, Titiette. Thank you so much.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Night.
Safe journey home.
I would share.
I saw the agenda.
Thank you, Val.
And I really didn't know what to expect.
Oh, Sister Jackie.
I'm really, really, really pleased. I feel privileged to have been a part of this. And I just want to say a great big technology hug to everyone. It was fantastic. And much thanks to yourself and Brother Dalian for putting this together. Tremendous treat.
Queen Mother. I think Queen Mother might have.
And Queen Mother, I can't see Queen Mother. She has gone. Yes.
Yeah, it's early morning for
yes.
or it was.
Yeah.
Amma, Sister Amma.
I just want
Amma's still here.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yes, thank you.
I wanted to say thank you very much, Madam Wasipi. Onyankopon mfamu nyina nkofie jojo. Na yen papa ya okoi. Ono nso ohu kwan. Nkotna ne nananom nkyɛn. Na nani nye kakra. Wabre nti onko home. I'm just saying we thank Baba for all the things he did for us. He needs to go and sit with the nanas and have a good rest because he's tired. But he is strong and going on. He is strong and strong. Yodawasipi. And thank you all for making this a wonderful tribute.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Emma.
I would like to share quickly. This is Val Sarant from Trinidad and Tobago.
Oh, greetings, welcome.
Yes, on behalf of Trinidad and Tobago and Ancestral Babo Latunchi, I'll say, Ajaja Emilo, Ajaja Emilo, Olomi o Baba Ramba, Olomi o Baba Shike, Ajaja Emilo, Ajaja Emilo. Now that Baba Mutwa is one with Ajaja, the one spirit that rules the whole universe, Olomi o Baba Rabba, Olomi o Baba Shike, Father, spread your wings and cover me. Father, spread your wings and protect me. Ashe.
Ashe. Thank you, Val. That's beautiful.
Wonderful.
I think something is on my head, which is probably why it's still here. It's like this thing is still there. Brother Dalian, I don't know if you're still there. I'm gonna have to do it. It's like, I've been trying not to do it.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead so that I can not do what is trying to get me to do.
Oh.
I don't know who said that, but wherever you are.
Makeda.
Oh, Makeda. Okay, go ahead.
It just came to me that in the midst of everything that's happening in the world, in the midst of Corona, the epoch of Corona, so much fear, so much concern about life, so much concern about death, so much uncertainty, that this is like a healing balm. This exemplifies not only what we have to treasure in terms of African spirituality, but the power of the impact that we could have once we embrace our spirituality as a people. And it doesn't mean that everybody necessarily has to go on this path. You only need you only need those who need to be involved with it. You only need a critical mass, but that will grow. And it's like a beam of light. A beam of light that just says, there's another way. So we give thanks and praise for all who made it possible.
Thank you, Sister Makeda. I'm going to do what I'm being called to do, and I've been trying to avoid it. So I'm going to try it, and the idea is you're supposed to respond, but I don't know if that will work. So I'm just going to go and do it. Zambi and Zambi.
Zambi.
Modimo au reservoir.
Modimo
au reservoir. Akungo arabati.
Akungo arabati.
Imana, imana, imana.
Imana, imana.
Yakumba, kachande, kumbu. Nyame onyankopo. Yala kalonga suku. Mawulisa and Kuru Kuru. Mawulisa. Zambi and Zambi. Zambi and Zambi. Akungo arabati. Akungo arabati. Imana, imana, imana. Imana, 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 imana. Lesotho Olivo. Leso Olivo. Okuru and Jambe. Okuru and Jambe. Tuku Karenga
Akongo Abati.
Imana, Imana, Imana.
Imana, Imana.
Nun, Amunet, Amunra.
Amun yet, Amunra.
Mut, Amun, Pata.
Amun Pata.
Basi, Sasaseya.
Basi, Sasaseya.
Onkolonkolo, Nyadenga.
Kolonkolo, Adea.
Onkolonkolo, Nyadenga. Onkolonkolo, Nyadenga.
Yonkolonkolo, Adea. Yonkolonkolo. Yonkolonkolo.
Nyadenga.
Yonkolonkolo.
Nyadenga. Zambi and Zambi.
Zambi and Zambi.
Modimo is one.
Modimo is one.
Akongo Arabati.
Akongo Arabati.
Imana, Imana, Imana.
Imana, Imana.
Akongo Arabati.
Akongo Arabati.
Imana, Imana, Imana.
Imana, Imana.
Thank you. Thank you. And much love.
Thank you all very much indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Good night.